Hi, I'm Sonya White Jaguar. Welcome to this edition of White Jaguar Wednesdays, my semi-monthly series where I discuss spiritual subjects inspired by your questions. Someone asked if Alan has any favorite locations in the higher dimension that he likes to go to. I have to admit, in the 8 years that I've been working with Alan now, I've never thought to ask him that. So thank you for that question. During a couple of afternoons, I did some channeling with Alan and I asked him where he likes to go and what he likes to do. His answers surprised me. They might surprise you too. Here's what he told me. Alan said, I like to do a lot of different things. Sometimes I just sit where I am and ponder things. You have to realize that I don't physically go anywhere. I sit in one place and everything moves around me. It's a bit hard to explain, but no traveling is required where I am. You have to understand that I'm in the world of thought. Everything is a mere thought away, so I can go anywhere in a blink of an eye because I go there with my thoughts. I said, it sounds like you're describing what we do here when we daydream. We're in the world of our thoughts. All we do is change what we're thinking about, and we're in a new place. Is that what you're saying? Alan said, exactly right. In the physical realm, you have to get up and move from place to place to see things and have experiences. I'm in the realm of pure thought here. From my perspective, everything is quite literally a daydream. Even your life is a daydream. Alan laughed. The entire physical world is not real as you understand it. You exist and you're having experiences every day, but you must understand that what you're seeing and experiencing is the tip of the iceberg. The creation process that brings about changes in your world and brings new things into being, that starts in the realm where I am, which is far beyond physical space and time. I said, okay, I understand that you're outside of the physical realm and everything could be termed a dream. So what does a typical day look like for you? Alan said, I'm often on multiple planets at once. I've expanded my work beyond Earth and work across many dimensions now. Some of it is very difficult to explain in human terms, but I'll try to describe it as simply as I can. One of the planets I work with is near Earth. It's still many light years from Earth and would be impossible to travel there physically using the spacecraft you have now. You might be able to see it if you look up in the night sky toward the North Pole, although you would need a very strong telescope to see it from your position. I like this planet a lot. It currently suits my development as a soul. I asked, what are you doing there? Is there any intelligent life? Are you guiding any incarnating souls there? Alan said, no, it's a rocky planet. I'm learning how to make minerals. The right mixture of base elements exists there for my study. I especially like to work with gold. It's fairly easy to make, at least it is for me. I take great pride in my work. The guides overseeing my development are proud of me, and that pleases me. They say I'm making great progress. I asked, is making minerals a common task that souls in your dimension do? Alan said, yes and no. Some souls are engaged in other projects. We take on the work that suits us. I expect to do this work for 1,000 years or more. I like it. The guides have hinted I may graduate to another form of mineral development afterward. Later, I may have the opportunity to work on nuclear fusion, what happens in the core of stars, and solar energy. I'm working toward that anyway, and I look forward to seeing what I'm ready for after I master my current work. I said, that's very interesting. So what else do you do? Alan said, I work with a great many people on Earth, of course. My thoughts are never far away from the people I'd known in various lifetimes and the souls I'm currently helping. Guide work is easy for me now. That's why I'm doing mineral work now too. That's more challenging. I want you to understand that souls never stop learning. Incarnating is one way that souls learn, but it's not the only method. We experience all aspects of creation on infinitely large and small scales. I want you to understand that. When we leave a physical incarnation, there is no physical place to go. Your human perspective is only one perspective of this vast universe. As a soul, you have the opportunity to experience life from an infinite number of perspectives. That's exactly what souls are doing. I said, you've talked about the work you're doing. What do you do for fun? How do you rest and recharge? Alan said, I like to play games with my friends here. Souls are fun-loving, at least the ones I know. Don't think in terms of board games or video games exactly. We don't play competitive sports exactly either. We challenge each other to think differently and expand our view on things, sometimes philosophically and sometimes in terms of how we use humor. In other words, soul games help us to develop ourselves, our unique personality and perspective as individual souls, while acknowledging that we're a part of something greater than ourselves. I said, it sounds as though recreational activities are also for growth and development. Alan said they can be, but not always. I like to challenge myself, so I play games that help me with my development. I suppose you could compare it to the TV game show Jeopardy, which is very popular on your world. It's a game, but it's designed to challenge you and teach you about a wide variety of subjects. That's the kind of game I like to play, only the soul version of that, if you understand my meaning. I could just as easily play other kinds of games, simpler games, like the equivalent of blowing bubbles or cornhole, but I've evolved past that level of development, so I prefer different sorts of games. I said, I understand. Back in 2016, you took me to a healing chamber in the higher dimension. I wrote about that in From Actor to Healer, Alan Rickman's New Life as a Spirit Guide, Book 1. Could we talk about places like that in the higher dimension? I realize these aren't physical places like we experience here on Earth, but because of the limitations of human language, I'm going to refer to them as places. What other places in the higher dimension have you visited? Alan said, I appreciate that question. I don't call them places, I call them dimensions. These are all dimensions of mind energy. In that sense, even places on Earth are dimensions of mind energy. I hope you realize that. Although you experience the world through your physical senses and you call the world around you physical, it's more accurate to call it mind energy or consciousness, which we've talked about before. What you're experiencing in your earthly incarnation is the physical dimension. Realize there are infinite dimensions. That's really how I would answer your question. Every dimension or place, as you say, is a reality that is part of a larger reality that has infinite dimensions. You could think of it a bit like Russian dolls, where opening to one dimension unlocks access to ever more dimensions. That process of unfolding and opening never stops. That's what it's like here, exploring all these different realms. I can't say that I have a favorite because I love exploring all there is to experience. I could tell you about a waterfall I've seen here. It's like nothing I've ever seen on Earth. It's a bit like I just described, with ever deeper cascades that fall into endless cracks and crevices. Sometimes the water seems to fall upwards as well as downwards. Direction is quite meaningless here. I explore that waterfall as one of the games I like to play. I try to look for myself within that waterfall. I don't mean like a reflection peering back at me on the surface of the water. Realize that the waterfall isn't made of physical water, and I don't jump in and swim in it as I would a physical river or stream if I were in the earthly realm. I experience the waterfall as a part of me, and I am a part of the waterfall. That's what I mean. When I write poetry with you, I sometimes immerse myself in that waterfall because of the ever-flowing life that it represents. I feel the deepest connection to my creativity as a soul there, and that's where I find it the easiest to write with you. Okay, Alan is referring to one of my free books on Wattpad, a book of poetry by Alan Rickman on the other side. I've channeled many poems from Alan over the past year. I didn't know he went somewhere specific in the higher dimension to write with me. That's very interesting. Thank you, Alan. I always appreciate what you share with us. Okay, how about we do some energy healing now? I like to end these videos by asking Alan to join us and share some healing energy. I asked him beforehand what he'd like to do, and he said he'd like to send you healing energy to help expand your heart chakra so that you can have deeper experiences of the higher dimension. Alan has often said that the portal to the higher dimension is the heart. Okay, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. And now I'll ask Alan Rickman, the British actor who died in 2016, to come in, please, and send healing energy to all the viewers of this video to help expand their heart chakra in the highest and best way, so they can deepen their experience of the higher dimension. Thank you. Now let's give him a moment to do that. Thank you, Alan. I definitely felt that. I hope you felt that too. I felt this emanation of loving energy, and I could see this green light emanating from my heart chakra. That was cool. If you have a question that you would like answered in a future video, feel free to leave a comment below or email me at sonya@sonyawhitejaguar.com. I've got more questions to answer, so subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you'll be notified when the next video is posted. You can also sign up for my free newsletter on my website, SONYA'S, and you can get notified that way. I send out newsletters twice a month. They contain inspirational messages from Alan and exclusive sneak peeks at my books in progress. You'll also receive a free meditation guide. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.